Oh my God, friends. I am like emotional right now. Like this has been a crazy stream. And I know like it's a little bit from a personal side and you'll see this later if you weren't on the stream, but what a freaking morning for me. This was a fun one. So first of all, let me just say it was a good stream. Just overall a good stream. We're going to cover all the details. It was about an hour and a half long, roughly. And so I'm going to shorten that like I usually do to cover the highlights and then share some initial thoughts. And also just, if you're seeing this before 3 p.m. Mountain Time on the 21st, we are doing a live podcast for Platypus and I to cover this in depth. So we're going to share our thoughts and opinions and have a discussion, and you can, come in and chat with us about it as well. But let me go through this live stream. So first of all, they do talk about if you are on Twitter, X, whatever, there is a campaign right now where you can retweet and get a $100 USD Amazon gift card. I didn't check the rules, but I'm guessing it might be, US only at the moment. They do, however, go on to mention that future contests and things like this, they're going to look to include the global audience. I don't know to what extent that may or may not mean every single country, but at least they are recognizing that people would like to participate that aren't just in the United States region, which I think is fantastic. I think global means global in my personal opinion. So get everybody in there, right? So that was the first kind of mini thing. And then we dive right into content, and they give us the, what are we going to look at? And it's the summer events. So this whole stream covered 2.1 and 2.2. So before the 2.2 update comes out, I don't expect another live stream. It's probably going to be about a month would be what I would say. So they covered all in here, and they do have Tokyo Game Session in a few days. So maybe we see some things from that. But basically we're going to talk summer. We're going to talk about 2 new characters and their buffs. So Tropical Motoha and Seaside Tomoko. You're going to hear me call them summer, whatever names all the time. I'm just too used to it at this point. A new synergy, which I'll cover why this one is interesting in a bit. And then some promo info. This is, all sorts of different updates. So summer, I don't want to spoil all the cutscenes, basically just skimming through them here. But what I want to cover is that it is 2 parts. So you don't get the entire summer campaign on day 1, which will be tomorrow as of when I'm recording this video. So part 1 will have certain events, and we'll look at those. And then part 2 will have other parts of the events. So this is going to cover basically the next month of content. And as far as the patch dates go, 9/22, so September 22nd is our first patch. And this is for part 1 with Summer Closer or Tropical Motoha. And then part 2 will be October 9th, which is actually my oldest bear's birthday. So give him a happy birthday in the comments. And that is when Summer Moko, or now I forgot what they called her, but that's when she will come out, and the latter half of this event will come out. So as we make our way closer and closer to Halloween, at least in the United States, we will be doing summer events. So an interesting take. But yeah, so this is coming. Events are fun. You get all sorts of different rewards. And this one has some story stuff and a whole new area that you can run around in, this cute little beach. And again, we're going to get into some more details as we go through. And as we show, let me see if I can catch in here. This is kind of talking about story elements. So there's, cutscenes or discussions and things. You get to, go through and use different characters for this cool little mini game, which is like a shooting gallery. And here's what I want to say about this. So this is mouse based. I'm an arcade buff. I have a couple different types of light guns that work on my PC. Now I do have to double check. I don't think I've installed the software for it again on this new computer, which is not the easiest thing to do. But if it works, I actually think this might work with my light gun. So instead of a mouse, actually doing like the aiming. So if I can get that to work, let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that in a stream. It's a bit of setup. So it's not like I just plug and go. I have to like install my light bars and everything. But if that interests you, that could be a fun thing where I'm just like actually using my light gun like I do on my arcade cabinets. So whatever, a little side note, but this is just a fun little mini game shooting thing. I like these little things. And then if we scroll through, you'll see, let's see, this is still the same thing. Basically, you just go through stages. That's, got progressive things. 2.2, this is the other half. This is a shaved ice event. So again, you're going to get jewels, tokens, all the kind of things you would expect as rewards. So always fun. You got a fun way to gain some new things, kill some time or whatever between patches. And then let's see. This is just talking about story stuff. And so now you can kind of see here what the total rewards are. So you've got an additional firework festival, and in here you get 1,000 gems, not quite a multi. I wish that was, 500 gems more, and some background stuff if you're into the decorative stuff for your characters or your character portraits. And you can also see too, you got a couple other things kind of hinted. They talk about that later. And yeah, this is just talking about how the actual events work. I don't want to over spoil events. I want you guys to go in there and enjoy them, but you can run around this area. It's not just like a menu thing. And this is what I want to really cover. So this is a new event structure for us. It's not something you've seen yet. And the way it works is you have these first stages here. These, I think I've pretty much always auto battled. These are not hard. And they let you use characters from the events and everything. And then somewhere in here is a screenshot. The second part is a progressively harder boss, but it's not done the same way that you're used to other bosses. It's not like the trumpeter or things like that. It's just that each of these stages gets harder, the level gets higher, and it's meant for, you know, better, stronger, more cohesive teams. And so you do want to complete these to get your rewards. I don't remember exactly if the like level 4 is where you get the last of the rewards, or if you do have to go to level 5. It escapes me at the moment. But you want to get through these two. And on day 1, this is important, on day 1, when this comes out, you really want to be going towards the end. There's like another thing over here, and let me show it to you. Sorry, they're going to show some gameplay. And, oh, I went too far. So you get this little thing here called buffering. So when you play the game, you get buffering. Come on. There we go. So you get 3 different stages, and you get to run, I want to say it's 3 per day. So you don't have to do different stages. You can do like 3 of each of these. And you get a bonus for using specific characters. So even if you did not pull or aren't pulling Summer Closer, you can use regular Closer and Rico, which we all should have. And by doing that, you get more rewards. You get a little bit of a buff to what you receive. And you want to do this because you get a really good return on these items. And then I want to say it's like a shop currency to get the rest of them. So make sure that when you run this, you pick your synergies. These aren't hard. These are like your daily stamina usages. And I don't see it on the screen here, but I'm fairly certain this should be costing you stamina. So make sure you focus this down. There's lots of good rewards to get in here. And you know, you are going to want to build your characters, and this is just the way to get the materials to do so. Do not forget to do this. Do it on day 1, and then just do it until you've cleared out shops or whatever else. So that's that kind of structure for that event. Then they show a little bit more. All right, let's keep going. They had a little announcement from Summer Closer's voice actress. All right, let's skip ahead past Closer's skills and just get into where they show her changes, because this is a big deal. Okay, I want to first preface, I don't think either Summer unit is a must pull. Even with some really good synergies with other characters, if you need to save gems, I actually think you can skip both of them and be fine. And I'll talk about that more in depth with each character. So Summer Closer, if you don't know, she's an AoE blessed character. She is really strong. She is going to be great AoE damage, especially if you don't have like a limited 5-star like Joker built up. From an AoE perspective in general content, you can still just pull out your on. And she is going to be your only blessed damage character until a single target blessed character comes out quite a few months from now, not soon. So she has her place. She's going to make Velvet Trials easier. And obviously when it comes to her guild bosses and SOS bosses, she's going to be the best. And that's the case for any limited character, particularly damage dealers. But here's what they did with her, which is really, really interesting. If you saw one of my last videos, Summer Closer worked on being overhealed. And that created situations where you need really strong healers to kind of trigger her most important things. And what they've done is they've removed that kind of necessity. So you don't have to overheal her to make her function at her finest. What is wild here is her skill 3. It used to be a 5-turn cooldown, and then based on how many times you're overhealing her, it would drop it down to a max of 1 action or a minimum of 1 action. And so you're really kind of trying to play this healing game to get her where you need her. Now they just made it a 1-turn action. Like, that's wild. Like, you don't understand. That is wild. It makes her so easy to play. And they up the damage. So first of all, skill 3, her big nuker of a damage, is better. And it's just absolutely better. And so now if you look at her awareness, it says damage increase condition is now more lenient. when she is healed beyond her max HP. It's just when she receives healing. So even if you heal her and she doesn't even make it to max, you're still getting buffs, which is, again, it's just fantastic. And so that is pretty big. Let me see if I can actually go back to her awareness. I want to see if they detail it out. Yeah. So before, like I said, you had to do a certain amount of overhealing, so 15%. And now when receiving healing, increase damage by 25% for 2 turns. So you're getting a damage buff. After receiving healing a total of 5 times, gain Tropical Heart, which is healing received from blessing counts once per, oh, that's just saying blessings once per turn. You can't get like multiple blessing stacks. When using Surf and Shine, while this is active, you spend the heart to remove the cooldown from Surf and Shine. Afterwards, there's a 1-turn cooldown. So basically, you are using your skill 3, you're getting a heal in between, then using your skill 1, and then going back to skill 3. So you just got this 1-3 combo. You don't really use your skill 2, and nothing in here has made me think you want to use her skill 2. On her awareness 1, at the start of each turn, Tropical Heart's healing counter by 1 is gained, and you gain a blessing. So this is making this easier to get to, this Tropical Heart. Let's see, you get max HP. This is, good for her. And then her A6, if you're going that far, it's just, it's better. You just get more and more and more things, like more Tropical Heart, more damage. Because I also think you don't have to pull her, I really don't think you should go for A6 unless this is just your favorite character. But all of this is great. And then if I go back a little bit, let me see if it said it anywhere. Yeah, I think that was really it. And then her weapon skill, Surf and Shine, get a 34% damage increase when used, and it's a permanent uptime as long as skill 3 is used on cooldown. Like, all they did was just outright make her easier to use, make her like more functional, more teams, and make her better. The thing now is, even if you don't have Minami and you're not pulling Summer Moko, you can just toss, like, I don't know, I would say maybe a Morgana in there. Let Morgana do his off-turn healing to keep triggering her stuff, and it works just fine. You can still use Cattle if you haven't built Morgana. You just have to do the active healing. So I think she becomes easier to use. It probably opens up some combinations for other buffers, which I think is pretty neat. So yeah, I mean, overall, this was a really solid buff for Closer. And then if we go forward, let's see what else they cover here. We are getting the Queen outfit. So, like all things, these are things that you have to get in game, buy in game. It's not a free thing as far as I could tell. And then we get into Summer Moko. So same thing. Let's just dive into her changes, because that's the easiest way to show this. Here it is. Okay. So first thing I want to say, most of these changes are actually in the Chinese Asia versions already. So what they did is they took her initial character, they're showing the changes they already gave, and then the changes we got on top of that. So if you are playing a different server now, most of this is already in there, but let's talk about what's actually new. So it was, let's see, this here, so skill 2, also convert 25% of the allies' ailment accuracy to attack and increase it. So this is a new benefit to her skill 2. It's basically giving you more attack. So it's like an extra attack buff. And I forget the number, but I want to say it was like maybe 24% if I were to go back a couple slides. These things were already in here, so this is not new. Let's see. This is new here. So whenever inflicting spark on a foe, permanently increase all allies attack 2% up to 15 times. Now, again, because I'm also saying I don't think she's a necessary must pull. I like having her and I will be pulling her. I really don't think you chase awarenesses on her. I think those are better spent on other characters. But should you be a person who either lucks into them or really wants to, these are good. Like having the defense down is really good, and having the new Gentle Sunbeam is really good. And then the weapon, these two numbers here are what they are on the other servers, but this bottom one is cool. Decrease target's ailment resistance and defense by 12%. We're getting ourselves another defense debuff. Do I think this makes her weapon a must pull? No, I think you can still just rock with her 4-star. It does give her a good offensive update. So now, on top of the fact that it was already giving this extra damage taken increase, now you're getting the extra defense down. Ailment resistance is arguably less necessary. It's if you're going to be trying to like put him to sleep or whatever, or apply a burn, I don't know. So I don't think this is as big of a deal, but the extra defense down is always just more damage. So I think you can still skip it if you want to save gems and resources, but it's going to be a nice upgrade for those of you who wanted to pull it. I was going to pull it anyway, so to me, I'm like, cool, I've got some added stuff on it. So overall, for the 2 characters, I'm going to give their buffs an A+. Honestly, I think making Closer easier to use and stronger is never a bad thing on a damage dealer. And then the couple of extra little things on a character that I already enjoyed playing, I think it's just good. You're just getting a stronger unit with better buffing abilities. Like, why wouldn't we want that? So very, very good. Then we move into, let's see, what is this? Yeah, they're just kind of explaining what they were doing. They're talking about synergies, and let me cover a different thing on synergies. So I think, yes, Tomoko is an absolutely great pair to Motoha here. She's also good in other teams. She is going to be strongest in AoE teams, so keep that in mind because you want to spread her effect that gives the fireworks, and having multiple targets makes that easier. So you do still want to kind of prioritize her into AoE content, from my personal opinion. But I don't think she is 100% necessary. There's other people that are going to be able to heal and buff characters other than Tomoko. And I keep thinking through the Haru team, because that's going to be the big comment is she best in slot for the Haru team? I think that with, and this kind of goes into my other video I gave. So take a look at my playlist for the Do You Need Moko? I think she's obviously a great pairing for Haru, particularly when you want to run mono teams and you want more Sai because they're both Sai. But I honestly really need to look at it. I think that there are other buffers that just flat out edge her out slightly when it comes to raw buffing power when you don't need sustain. Now, if you need a sustainer, you need somebody to give you heals, keep you alive, I think she wins there. I think she becomes your best in slot for Haru. But I think that if you just want raw buffing and you're not at risk of dying, maybe you're in an SOS or guild boss, I think there's probably things like maybe a Cord Riddle, maybe a Cord Leon. I'd have to really look at the numbers and break it down in my head. I may even have to talk to some of the smarter people in the community, maybe like Najox, Tenacity, and such, and see what their thoughts are. They tend to be really dialed in, or Red Harv on the global side or the worldwide side. These are people that are fantastic at knowing the numbers and just understand it even better than I do. I'm not the perfect person here. So I want to maybe theory craft a little bit with them. But I still feel like for raw, just pure output on buffs, not counting the extra things like healing, you might still have better options if you're just trying to optimize damage numbers. But again, with sustain, Haru is it, and also Tomoko is it. And with Haru, this is assuming, of course, you're using her weapon, her 5-star, and you're getting her to that 150 that you need on EHR to get her max buff when you're in combat. So you get things from like your navigators and stuff like that. So that's all assumptive behavior, but I still think she's a strong unit. I don't think she's an absolute must pull, but I definitely want her, and I like having her for different types of content. So then we move forward. Wonder gets a buyable skin. If it's your thing, go get it. It's going to be on a discount for a little while, a couple hundred gems off. And then they show a little bit about what it looks like. Kyo is getting the rest of his Confidant. He's been locked at level 15, so we get to kind of continue through his story. So that's nice for those of you that would want to get his last book or bring him to level 20 or whatever have you. Find out if he hugged you from behind again. We'll see. We'll see. And then we get, this is a big one for me. We get Kira. Kira is a new synergy. And what he does is he allows you to reload your bullets after, like, I think a round or two. I forget exactly what the number is, which is really good for somebody like a Soy, because Soy applies a defense down on his gun attack. So he's got a really good thing. And it also increases the damage on your gun attacks, depending on which rank you have him at. So a good synergy to get. Pretty fun story as far as what he does. I'm not going to spoil that. But what's most interesting to me here is Miyu, who is Puppet, was actually the next synergy on the other servers. So I don't know what the prompt for swapping her or delaying her, or maybe she's coming, they just forgot to mention it. I don't really know. But it's an interesting one to me because, first of all, she, I think, has a better synergy, whatever you want to call it, like ranking up stuff, than Kira, because it helps with your other synergies. But I mean, he's still good. I wonder why she's not there. So this one I'm going to keep my eyes out on. Maybe they didn't mention her, or maybe she's just flip-flopped with him and then she'll be in the, update after summer. Maybe they want to get him started, early. So it's weird to me. I don't know, but it's interesting. He's still a good one to level up though. Check out my confident guides for where I think he ranks. But yeah, so this here, they're just kind of talking more about him, whatever. And then we go forward. We get the fishing mini game. You guys have probably noticed that there is a place you can go to, but it doesn't let you right now, to get fish. That's coming. So let me know if you want a fishing stream. I love dumb stuff like this. I shouldn't call it dumb. I mean that in an endearing way. I love stuff like this. I could sit back and fish and talk to you guys all day long. And then there's new music on the mode that I'm the worst in the world at. Give Kage a shout out because he is amazing. He's like triple S platinum on this stuff, and I'm like crying in the background. So more songs if you want. And then this is fantastic. So we get Vicissitude Ink. Crazy name. What this is you get to take a card, select what you want. So you can see here, you can pick, do you want sun, moon, star, sky, whatever. And you get to pick the main stat. You do not get to pick the substats. So your substats are still random. You can still end up with a crappy card, and this has happened to me plenty of times. But if you're getting down to where you've tried to pull cards from, the stamina stages, and you just can't get your attack up, or you can't get your crit card, and you really just want that main stat, this is a way to do that. Again, still random on the substats. But this is very limited. Most of this is going to come from the battle pass. So if you're not upgrading the battle pass, you're going to, be out some of these, and then you'll get some from events, and occasionally you'll get some from shops. So you get some here and there. This is not a super common resource. So don't go blowing this on some character you use once every 13, 15, 17 patches. Think about your main people that you really want to kind of finalize cards on. Like I'm thinking Haru when she comes out. I'm thinking Cord. I might throw one of these on, Queen because she doesn't have great cards right now. Like really think about who needs to be effective. Like who really wants that extra card. And this is a way to at least guarantee your main stat. You might still end up with crappy substats, friends. That's a shame. But at least you can get your main stat. But this is a really cool addition to the game. I wish they would have mentioned the card sets, like where you can actually save sets. Maybe that'll sneak in. I don't know. And then we have, finally, you guys have been asking for this, the relationship reset. This is 100 meta gems to do. So you buy a little ticket. And let's say you friend zoned somebody, and then you want to change that to a love or vice versa. That's the item that lets you do it. And then you can get the other reward tracks. So like the other emojis or whatever else. So, you can see down here, they got both of these checked off. It was actually kind of cute because the voice actress for Tomoko was basically like, are you really going to break up with me? It was very cute. So this is, for those of you that care for all the different checkboxes, this is for you, but you do have to spend some meta gems for it. And then let's go forward a bit. We are getting 7. So it's a daily login, a platinum ticket per day. So 7 days in a week, 7 tickets. There you go. Free stuff. And this is talking about the Phantom Pass. So it gets upgraded. If you go from the regular pass to the special pass, at level 29, instead of getting 40 Stardust shards, you'll get 160. And then instead of 80, 320 at level 49. So these are for your Mindscape. And you get 2 of the Vicissitude Ink. They also note that you're not losing any rewards. Rewards that were at these levels before are just being rolled into other levels in the battle pass. So it's just a pure gain versus what we had before. So more stuff, free stuff, take it. We're back to our normal live stream rewards, which is 600 metajoules. The 1000 was the 2.0 special. So they gave us more on the last patch. And finally here, the weapon case they've been talking about for quite a few streams now is coming. So we're just going to get a free weapon case. And here's the characters you can pick from. It's our standard pool of characters plus Minami. So those of you who didn't get her, you can still use this case to get somebody else, like Ryuji, because he's my boy. But if you wanted Minami's weapon and you couldn't get it from the Lufel plan, you're going to be able to get it. And this is just a net positive. Even though she wasn't in the Lufel business plan for us, you still got the case from there that you could have used on whomever. And now we get an extra 5-star weapon. So this is just a pure upside, even though we had to wait for it. Can appreciate that. It's still a pure upside for us. So a solid win on this one. Then as we go through, so they're going to have a special campaign for the 100-day release. I don't know what that will be. I'm guessing your usual free materials, free items, free pulls, etc. They talk about the web store. We'll pass by that. We've had entire videos dedicated to that. Okay. Update schedule. You're going to see this flying around. New contract system. That's the 110 banner. However, I'm hearing that's a big typo. They didn't mention the 110 banner at all in the stream. And just looking briefly at Discord, I'm hearing that this is just not supposed to be there. We still don't know when it's coming. No, they didn't mention anything on Soft Pity. But here, let's talk through this. 2.1, September 22nd, October 9th is 2.2, and then late October will be the next story release. So we do have a couple updates, 2 updates before we get the next story chapter. That's how it was in the other servers. That's nothing new. It's just following the same schedule. We will get the 100th anniversary before 2.2, so before October 9th. We've got the login bonuses. You've got the 2 events. So you got part 1, part 2. We get the Vicissitude Ink with 2.1. And then we get the Synergy Bond reset with 2.2, plus the protagonist swimsuit if that's your thing. For the bottom here, Phantom Idol Contract Trial, we got Tropical Closer, whatever. And Seaside Tomoko for the second half, so we're not getting both characters at once. We get the fishing right away. We get new band club music if you want to play that. And then you get the Synergy story for Kyo Expanded. Kira will come in 2.2. That's the new Synergy. City Life, new class. I think that's just in your classroom, whatever. And then finally for 2.3, what they are sharing, they're not necessarily sharing everything. We get some login bonus, the main story gets updated. You're going to get a new character. I don't want to spoil that here. Obviously, I know what it is. And then you get a City Life update and a new Synergy story update, which is probably just unlocking more of Kira, would be my guess. Still no mention of Puppet in here either. So my thought is this 2.3 thing, they're intentionally not showing everything. They want to save that for live stream. That's normal behavior. But this is what you should expect for the next quite a few weeks for what we will be playing. What else? So they did a recap. And then they show off for Tokyo Game Show, this cute little background here. So they're going to be there. They'll be talking about stuff there. And then here is why I was beaming at the start. My friends, never when I started streaming with a Minecraft video, of all things, did I think my name would be on a live stream from the developer, mentioned by the developers. So first of all, Blades for CJ, Ren, Cephia, congratulations. You guys are on this list as well. I would love to say congratulations to the Japanese friends. I don't know how to say your names. I'm very sorry, but amazing to see you here as well. This is your win. You guys watched the videos, subscribed to me, liked my content, shared it, and then went on X and retweeted. So this is your win, first of all. So thank you for that. I'm getting freebie. I don't have her. I lost my 50-50 on her. So I'm getting the one character I currently don't have. And it is, you have no idea how baffling, like, mind craziness it is to see my name on a slide on a developer live stream. This is better than Phoebe for me. Like, this is cooler than me actually getting the character. So I'll be keeping my eye on Twitter. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting the character, but guys, thank you. Like I said, I was kind of emotional, and I was like I had jokingly said in some Discords, like, I wonder if they're going to do this on the stream. Like, that'd be so cool. I didn't actually think they would. So that was like super copium, and it happened. So freaking wild. Thank you so much. Love it. This makes this the best stream that'll ever happen until they maybe invite me to wear one of these cool Hawaiian shirts with them. Like, developer team, if you're listening, I would love to go do the live stream with you. I'll be amazing. Don't you worry. And then do they cover anything else? I don't think anything major else happened here. Just recap stuff, them saying thank you, talking about the community, which was amazing. Oh, and then she's the best. Can I just say that? This voice actress is my favorite of the host. She is so much fun. And also, can I get this? I will wear this on stream if somebody can find this cutout and send it to me. It reminds me of like the old Burger King crowns when I was a kid. So that is the live stream. Overall, how would I rate it? On a personal note, a triple S T0 plus a million. You're never going to beat this stream for me because I like I said, my name was up on a slide. But from a content piece, I would say it's like a B. I like the buffs they gave the characters. It's nice to get content. We have, some stuff coming in terms of rewards, login bonuses, etc. The extension to October 9th on the patch cycle is weird. They didn't really cover, I think, why, but I would like to see the story come sooner. I'm being selfish there. And I think otherwise, getting the case was really good. I like that we're getting a 100-day, some sort of mini event, whatever. I'm a little curious on the puppet thing. Like, why is she not our next confidant? So I think it was good. It was a good stream overall. It's not going to be as crazy as I think the 2.0 stream was. And I don't think it should. 2.0 was a big patch. So me giving it like a B-ish range is not a bad thing. I reserve my higher rankings for, oh my God, you just gave the community 40 polls. Or here's a feature we were never expecting. Like if they brought Astrolab forward, this would have been like my top stream. So overall, a good stream, amazing for me personally. So thank you for that. And like I said, if you're watching this before 3 p.m. Mountain Time on the 21st of September, instead of a pre-recorded podcast, Platypus and I are going live. And we're going to talk about this. I'm going to get his opinion, see his thoughts. He's going to get mine and see mine. And we're going to have some fun. So you can get in there and ask us, tell us your opinions, all the good stuff. And until that podcast live happens, my friends, please take care of yourselves.